Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television is sponsored by Potash Corp of White Springs. Potash Corp, helping nature provide.
Hello everyone and welcome to Perspective. This is a public affairs presentation of Florida Gateway College. My name is Mike McKee and my guests on the program today are Debbie Freeman. She is the Executive Director of Columbia Senior Services here. And we also have Joanne Flagert. She is a registered nurse and she's Program Director of the brand new adult daycare that is at the Lifestyle Enrichment Center. We've got a lot to talk about on the program, including everything that Columbia Senior Services does through their Lifestyle Enrichment Center. We'll do that when we come back. Don't go away.
Being a registered nurse is a rewarding job. But if your career goals have you looking for more, Florida Gateway College can show you the way.
As a nurse, I love to help people, but I wanted to go further.
With our Bachelor of Science nursing degree, RNs have the opportunity to increase their career options and income earning potential.
Now I've got more choices, and the extra money isn't bad.
Start your journey today at Florida Gateway College.
Welcome back to Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television. My name is Mike McKee and my guests in the program are going to talk about all things senior. Debbie Freeman, she is the Executive Director of Columbia Senior Services, and Joanne Flagert, who is an RN and Program Director of the Adult Daycare, which is a brand new service provided by Columbia Senior Services. Debbie, it's been a while since you've been on the program to talk about senior services, and a lot has changed. I mean, before, you didn't have big crowds at the Lifestyle Enrichment Center. Now, the place is a bustling, packed house. Talk about some things that the community may not know about what senior services does for Lake City and Columbia County.
One of the things I'd like people to know is this is our 43rd year of serving seniors in Columbia County, and we have been fortunate enough to have a board and a staff that have looked at the trends and the changes of how older adults live. We used to, at the Golden Age Center, we could quilt and sew, and that was basically what we did.
And you banged on pots and pans?
Well, we still bang on pots and pans, but we started looking at what the baby boom generation would want. And we knew that the facilities we were in were not very attractive and sort of stigmatizing. So we said, let's build a facility that people are proud to come to and everyone in the community over 60 would like to be there. So what we did was we set about to change the image of aging in Columbia County. And in so doing, we built a facility that would allow people to be able to maintain their physical health with the Nautilus Gym, to learn new computer skills in our computer lab, to enjoy the library, to do watercolor painting and crafts and jewelry classes, and for the Hammond everybody, they get to do their geriatrics theater. So there are so many things that baby boomers who are more physically fit, more healthy, more active than maybe their grandparents were. That's what we set about to do, and as Michael will show you when we show the video, there are so many people using every area of the facility. We provide breakfast, we provide lunch, we provide a place where everybody knows your name. You don't realize it, but once you get older, and especially if you start to get ill, people tend to look through you. You become invisible. You are not invisible at the Lifestyle Enrichment Center, and there is a support system amongst the other seniors and the staff that people seriously need at this time of life.
Well, let's roll that video and give folks who may not have been to the new facility You're located on Baya Avenue, and to the left is Melrose Elementary School. So for those who know, and it's a beautiful facility. Compared to the Waterworks, for those who've been in Lake City for a long period of time, no?
We have the Heirloom Gift Shop. This is a place where people that are generally over 60 in the community bring things that they have made themselves. We have a few items in the store that are probably not handmade, but most of them are handmade. And we set up the store not to make money for us, but to allow these people who have these skills to have a place to promote their ability to build.
That's a nice cedar chest right there.
The stuff in the shop is first class.
Oh yeah, and handmade, and you're not going to find that at Walmart.
Plus, that gift shop was named and sponsored by Doctors Chuck and Robin Hall.
And this is another opportunity for the seniors to talk, read the paper,
they socialize.
gossip.
Yeah, well, when you figure that your social network declines as you get older, it's very important to have a social network to discuss with, things that make you want to get up and be alive.
And Joanne, this is the club. Who is this? This is part of the adult daycare, correct?
Yes, that's correct. This is one of our participants. His name is Vern.
Vern, by the way, is awesome. He's an awesome fellow.
He's 90 years old, and he's a World War II veteran, and he's very proud of that.
He told me that he was at Normandy, and they moved prisoners to North Africa. I mean, it just great guy, great guy. We're going to talk about the daycare, but this is the gym. This is like any other gym in town that the people are waiting to get on machines, and I mean, they're going at it.
This is a great place because the equipment was given to us by a friend, and we have volunteers like Mr. Scipio who come in and teach people how to safely use the equipment and then stay in the gym with them as they use the equipment. So it's very important, especially when you've had a stroke or have a physical fitness issue and you run out of the money from a prescription that pays for your health rehabilitation, then you can come to the center and it doesn't cost you.
Yeah, and Jeff Parker in there is a maniac with getting people to do their stuff. And this is what a lot of people think of when they think of senior services, is the quilting that goes on. And,
yes,
and some of this stuff is great.
That quilt was made by our seniors from as long ago as 43 years ago. And then the wood carvers.
Oh, that's awesome. And I see that Sam and Carol Markham sponsored. You still have sponsorship opportunities
We do.
as well.
We have several rooms still available for sponsorship.
That is beautiful.
The wood carvers do beautiful work. This group is a family caregiver support group. And
now explain that, the reason they get together.
They get together because they are taking care of chronically ill people. They become isolated because they have so much caregiving to do. This group gets together, they share their problems, their issues, what they say within their group stays within their group. They socialize. This becomes their social group as well, because if you're a caregiver, you become very isolated.
And no, this is not a high-stakes poker game. They were playing Uno. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, this is, and you're in the James Montgomery reading room as well, and all those books are available for checkout. And you see it's a beautiful place. You got quilts hanging on the wall.
It is. We knew that it was important that we have a light and airy, clean, bright, very, club-like facility so that people would not have a stigma attached to going to our center. That's why it's not a senior center, it's a lifestyle enrichment center.
And some of the stuff in there that a lot of folks did while they were working in their working life, and then when they retired, they continued to do it. Now this gives them an opportunity to show off what they have and what they've done, and it also gives them time to socialize. Joanne, how important is socialization for seniors? I know it's important for us as human beings to be social with each other, and I guess when you age and you kind of become a shut-in, perhaps, that you don't have that interaction. How important is it to survive and not maybe get dementia or not get Alzheimer's?
Well, socialization is a key factor, especially in Alzheimer and dementia patients and their caregivers, because it doesn't take very long because of some of the behaviors that they display, that it can be either embarrassing or perhaps not dignified to do things socially out in public. So as time goes along and the disease progresses and the behaviors become not so socially acceptable, not only does that participant they get so isolated, but so does their caregiver.
Yeah, and that can be a recipe for disaster, and then folks pass away. I mean, it's terrible. But talk about the new thing. We just saw the new adult daycare, and we saw Vern, who is one of your clients, who allowed us to videotape him. What do you do in there? I mean, is it just it's not a warehouse, right? I mean,
no,
we don't want people to get that impression that you just drop them off and you go do what you want and whatever happens.
It's not custodial care. We're about activities. We are about celebrating life. Our participants that come to the daycare center do not have short-term memory anymore. That's what the disease has robbed them of. And they have their long-term memory. So it's myself and our staff, it's our job to find out by process of elimination where they are in their disease process and where they are in time in their mind. And we help bring those memories forward so that they have the opportunity to celebrate life, to tell their life stories, talk about their family or their childhood, probably the same stories that their caregiver hears over and over and over every day. So it's an opportunity for them to have their mind stimulated, interact with other people, and feel productive, and feel good about themselves and accomplishing things. Because in the daycare program, behavior is not an issue. Everybody's the same. They have the same disease process, although their symptoms may not display the same. But they can come there and they can be normal. There's not anything that you can say, there's not any way you can behave that would be objectionable to myself and staff.
Now, it's important that they're visually stimulated, and I mean, they don't. In fact, I walked in there and I said, "Oh, you just stick them in those chairs over there," because there's some nice, comfortable reclining chairs in there. And then I thought they would just, but that's where they go to rest.
That's where they go to rest.
So talk about what you take them through when you bring say there's a new patient that comes in. What are you doing?
Well, a lot of times when they do first come in, they have been very isolated socially, and at home they've spent an enormous amount of time sitting in a recliner stuck in front of a TV without any stimulation whatsoever. And what we do is we learn from the paperwork that we get from our caregivers what their hobbies have been, what their jobs have been, what their responsibilities in life have been. So we can, our program that we do for each person is individualized so that we can bring forward those things that have been locked away in their memory for a long time. They stay active. We know what hobbies they have. So in our curriculum during the day, we may pick their hobby to talk about that day and actually do some of it. Some of our friends that come to the daycare have been artists and painters and things like that. So they especially enjoy getting to do those sorts of things again.
How neat is it, though, that it's cool that you do individuals, that there's not one treatment for, I mean, everything is different, is it not, with each patient?
Everything is different for each person, and that's the luxury that we have, being licensed have only 12 participants in a full day. So we are fortunate in that we have all this knowledge about them, so we can suit the program to the individual.
So you're stimulating them. They may be doing exercises.
We do exercises. We do reminiscing. We do crafts. We do painting. We actually have speakers that come in to the program. We participate in some of the community things like Christian service centers. You know, sometimes there's things that they need, so we work on that. We've done some things for Chances for Children. We've made little pillows and things to give to the children, so they can feel like that they can contribute to the community as well. So they're not just sitting idly by, not doing something. They are contributing.
Now, I had a loved one who had dementia, and the problem was a lot of times was incontinence. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the reason why some people don't want to bring their loved one into the general public, because of the embarrassment of that. You say that you take care of that. How?
Yes, that's not something that precludes you from coming to daycare. We expect that. Myself and the staff are trained for Alzheimer's dementia patients, and this is one of the things that's very, very common to this disease process. So what we have our friends do is we do a toileting program so that they're taken to the restroom at intervals that are normal for them, and we don't always find for us in the time that they're there that is a problem, because we stay on a schedule, and that prevents them from being embarrassed or from having any accidents. And it helps the caregiver, because we train the caregiver that this is what we do here and this is what you could do at home, and it makes life a little easier for them as well.
So there's like homework that you send back with the caregiver. Now talk about, you and I talked when we shot the video that hydration is an extremely important part of treating these patients, and that makes all the sense in the world. Talk about that a little bit.
Some of our friends forget to drink, and it's very, very important that they have their fluids, because they can get into an electrolyte imbalance. It can prevent their medications that they're on from being cleared through their kidneys or things like that, and it can make them weak. So what we do is, because they forget to drink, we make certain that they have plenty of fluids to drink, and you don't always have to necessarily give people water or juice. You know, anything that melts at room temperature, like Jell-O and ice cream, soups and gravies and things like that, we make sure that those are incorporated in the day after activities and a couple of times during the day, so that they are being hydrated. Because sometimes, because of incontinence, people will not want to give them anything to drink, and that can be very destructive.
Yeah, and it does something. The lack of hydration in the brain can cause some disorientation,
yes,
and so it's all important. In fact, if there's a message that if you have an Alzheimer's patient or a dementia patient that you're keeping at home, always make sure they're hydrated, even if it means there may be accidents. They have to stay hydrated. And
even in the wintertime, because people tend not to drink so much in the wintertime because it's kind of cold, or they forget because they're not hot and perspiring. So wintertime is especially important as well.
Okay, so you're licensed for 12.
Yes,
How
sir.
many patients currently are using the facility?
Right now, we currently have 5.
So you've got room for additional folks to...
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you tell people? You know, I see a caregiver that maybe, Uncle Johnny is I just don't want him in public. I don't want the embarrassment on my family of him doing something crazy. What do you say to people that have that maybe that obstacle they can't get over?
Well, I think one of the most important things is even though there's a lot of education out there that people can go online and read about Alzheimer's or different forms of dementia and all, I think the biggest thing is education. And we have educational information at our facility. We have support classes, and I think it helps a lot to talk with other people who have the same concerns or who are themselves living that life daily. And if they would come to the support classes, get a little bit better educated, they would learn very quickly how to handle some of those behaviors. Myself and the staff, we've been trained in how to deal with those things and to help them feel a little bit more comfortable out in public.
How important is respite for some of these folks? Because this is, it makes all the sense in the world that you would take your loved one so you could get a break. Because
Exactly.
I know it gets, we were talking about that support group. They were talking about, it's all about the patient, and they have no time for themselves ever. So talk about the importance of having that respite where you can go drop them off for a little bit, go do some shopping, maybe go get a massage or something.
Exactly. Everyone who is a caregiver, sometimes they forget that they need to take care of themselves, and they want to so much to take good care of their loved one, and they at the neglect of themselves. And if they would take advantage of having support groups or having the daycare center where they can go and leave their loved one for 6 hours a day, where they could get away, spend some time with their own friends, go and get their hair done, go to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment without having to worry about what's going on with their loved one out in the waiting room or having to deal with them in the back room. And once some of the people have the experience of trusting us and seeing that we're going to take care of their loved one just like they will, then we've noticed that as the caregivers come during the day, they themselves are dressed better, they look more refreshed, they're smiling. And when we see those changes, not just in our participants, but in our caregivers, we know we've done our job and we've done it well.
Well, it's great. You encouraged, Debbie, that people would like some more information about this. How would they go? Would they just come by the office or make a phone call? You're located near Bea Pharmacy on Bea.
628 Southeast
Yeah,
Bea.
let's put up the address and the telephone number. It's a beautiful facility. If you want to just go kind of wander around, it's on Southeast Allison Court. The number is 755-0235, or you could log on and see it. But I suggest that you go down there and you actually look at all, our video can't do it justice, but it is a wonderful place. Meals, talk about meals. That's another thing. You got a professional kitchen at this facility, and you've got a wonderful chef.
Yes, we do.
She's awesome.
Yes.
Because she did the
United Way
report luncheon. It was delicious. But talk about that and the importance of socialization and eating at the same time.
Well, at the Lake City Lifestyle Enrichment Center, we provide breakfast as well as lunch, and I think almost the breakfast time becomes the most social time of the day. It's more relaxed. You sit and you have breakfast. You start out your day with friends. You usually have people sitting at the same tables every day. So they enjoy that. We know that they're getting 2 meals a day that meet their 1/3 daily requirement on each meal, so we know that we're keeping them from malnutrition. Plus, seniors don't generally eat a lot at night. They're kind of grazers, so we're comfortable that they're doing well with their food. Eating correctly keeps you well longer. The meals, exercise, all of those things are very important, and everything that we do is coordinated to help you be able to remain independent for as long as possible and to lead your own life the way you want to lead it. You've got to be healthy to do that. So that's everything that we do is working towards keeping that senior adult healthy and independent. With 1/3 of our whole state population aiming to be over 60 years of age right soon, it's incredibly important that we maintain our health and maintain our independence, because there's not ever going to be enough nursing homes or anything else to take care of all of us who are beyond 60 years of age. We want to take care of ourselves, and I think that's what sets apart our program at Columbia County, is that everybody who works with our seniors loves our seniors. Some of us are our seniors. And we do it with a heart and we do it with empathy because we look at it from where they're coming from. And I take care of caregivers. I've been doing the caregiver support group for Alzheimer's patients for probably over 15 years. And the daycare was my dream, that we would have a program that would really allow the dementia patient to enjoy and have a quality of life while we gave the caregiver a break. It's a terrible thing to be diagnosed with dementia, both for you and your family. But sometimes the patient is sat in the corner and just assumed he can no longer do anything. That patient does not lose their intellect. They only lose the ability to remember short-term instructions. So in the daycare, we provided a loving environment, one that stimulates, and one where people are normal, because you don't know how important normal is until you're not.
There is transportation available if that is your obstacle. You do have buses that go out and pick clients up, bring them to the center, and then take them back when the day is over. You still do Meals on Wheels?
We do Meals on Wheels. We do the whole in-home services for people who can't get out, who are unable to physically stand an entire day. So we still do housekeeping, we do home delivered meals, we have the emergency alert response, we help people with their bathing, we help people with respite at home. So we try to start with the continuum of a independent senior at the centers, and we go to the daycare when that's necessary, and then we go into the homes, the whole continuum, to try to keep people well and able and independent as long as possible.
And these folks are always when there's a crisis, when mom and dad have strokes or become incapacitated in some way, Senior Services is always there to provide advice for you. If you'd like more information about any of the programs at Columbia Senior Services through the Lifestyle Enrichment Center, you can call them at 755-0235 or log on to www.ccsenior.com. Thank you both for being on the program.
You're welcome.
Wish you the best of luck, and we'll see if we can't get some more folks in your program to
Appreciate
get that
it. Thank
respite.
you.
And thank you for watching Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television. Until next time, I'm Mike McKee. Good night.